Welcome to the Rich Lady Revolution, Redefining Rich with Diane McKendrick. Hey, lovely lady, I see you. You're an ambitious, high-achieving woman, driven, passionate, and ready for more. More money, more impact, more freedom. This is the place where women just like you come together from all over the world to break the old rules and redefine what it truly means to be rich. Because being a rich lady is about so much more than money. Joining the Rich Lady Revolution with those two sisters is about more than the money in your bank account. It's about building wealth on your terms, doing what you love, with who you love, and creating a life that feels as good as it looks. It's about stepping into your unshakable power and purpose. This podcast, combined with my 5th book, is your personal invitation to step into your rich lady identity. I will be here to educate, inspire, and empower you along the way, to support you to cut the crap, do the thing, and be the rich lady you were born to be. So if you are ready to elevate your income, your impact, and your life, the revolution starts now. Hello, and welcome to episode number 259 of the Rich Lady Revolution, Redefining Rich. As said in the intro, this is conversations with women who are wealthy beyond just the profit, bringing peace to the profit and understanding that the journey and the micro moments in between are as important as the money that's landing into your bank accounts. So today I am joined by Brigette. Brigette and I only met pretty much yesterday. So I'll give a quick intro on how we met, and then I'll hand over to you, Brigette, to share your journey of how we met and why you're sitting here in front of me to share with the followers your journey. So Brigette went to Lux with Steve Mack on Friday night. I couldn't go because I didn't have a babysitter. And I think I saw you in a photo actually online sitting next to my friend Cara. And I got curious. I was like, oh, who's this lady? She's really pretty. I want to get to know her. And you and Cara look like you're having a great time. And then the next day or the day after, a dear friend of mine, Andrew, who's the founder of the Curated Circle, did a little WhatsApp. Hey, Brigette, meet Diane. Diane, meet Brigette. You guys have got to meet. So first of all, special acknowledgement to Andrew for being the super connector and really intentionally connecting me with so many incredible women that we get to do life and business together and share along in the journey. So thank you, Andrew. But Brigette, let's hand over to you, because then we got on a call, we had a chat, and we were just like two peas in a pod, and thought I have to share this lady with the world. And as you all know, one of my passions is creating platforms to get women's voices to the world. And you've got a really powerful voice. You've got a really beautiful story. And I was like, I want more people to hear this. So I'm going to hand the mic to you to introduce yourself, take us through a little bit of your history, how you got here, and then where you're going to go from here, like we talked about prior to pressing play. So handing over to you, Brigette.
Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited, and I really feel like this year so many alignments are happening and so quickly, like this year of the horse, everything's like just accelerating. So this kind of proves it that we met yesterday. I met Andrew on Friday, Saturday, and he's connected me with you, and it's just happening so fast. So definitely feeling super positive about what's going on. But a little bit about my story is the last 5-6 years have been quite challenging for my family. I had my daughter in COVID, but also had nearly 27 legal battles that my family business were going through, which all started 2 days before the birth of my daughter. We have survived them and we're still going through them, but we've gone through the thick of it. In that become a really big transformational journey for me. We lost our home, we lost everything trying to make sure we could cover legal fees to keep my partner safe. And I really uncovered a lot about myself in that journey. I had to really just dig deep and understand that logic is not going to pull me out of this, because my coping mechanisms were very limited to dealing with, first world problems that you'd experience as a woman in the world. You weren't really going through quite dramatic legal battles, but everything felt quite challenging. But then when you need a shake up and you need to evolve to that next level, the universe is going to throw you a big challenge that they're they trust you're going to be able to handle.
Shake shit
And
up, all right, in a big
yeah,
way. So you said
yeah,
27 legal battles, like just,
27. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
overnight, just life
yes.
changed from one way to
Mm,
another way, like it did for so
yeah,
many people back in around that time.
yeah.
But yours is when you shared with me yesterday, the depth and the extremities of what you guys had to go through to pop out on the other side and be able to speak the
Mhm.
way that you do and share the way that you do and create the way that you do. You can look back now and see that it was a blessing, but I'm sure at the time it did not feel like a blessing. It probably
Yes.
felt more like a dark night of the soul.
100%. I was very much a victim of my own circumstance for a long time. And I was sitting, stewing, like trying to work out why this was happening to me because I consider myself a really good person and I do all the right things. And we had all the compliance we needed in place. We're good, like we operate with integrity at all times. And at the same time, I'm meant to be a pillar of strength for a newborn. And James and I had to divide and conquer. So I had Bob and he was doing the legal battles. So I was very much alone in my motherhood journey and just fumbling my way through that. And
As we do, because nobody tells us what goes on behind closed doors. Wow,
exactly,
that
I'm
must have
ringing
been
my
so
friends.
tough.
Yeah, I'm saying, why did no one tell me how hard this was? And it was very much a reality check. But also, yeah, watching my life crumble around me was very devastating and just heartbreaking because I felt really out of control. And I think that was one of my biggest lessons as well, was that I can't control everything. And all I can control is my thoughts and my reactions and how I can just let things go and also faith and just having trust in myself, having trust in the journey that I chose this journey and it's all going to work out for me instead of happening to me. I had to really reframe a lot of my thoughts, which is what I love to help women with now in terms of thought audits and really just knowing you have that power and that control to be able to change your perspective on a situation, even if it doesn't even make sense, you feel delusional, you're like, you can. And once you start to change your perspective, even though all odds feel against you, you realize that you've survived another day and you didn't feel like you were suffering. Every day I felt like I was suffering really badly and I was trying to hide it from my child, but I thought she's going to get to an age where I can't hide this. I'm lucky now she's a baby. I can put her to sleep and cry when she's in bed. But when they get older, they're awake all the time and they're with you and they're actually matching your nervous system too, which
Yeah, they're not
I
just
think,
awake all the time. They're like tugging, pulling. Hey, no,
yes,
way, that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, and I just made this conscious decision of this isn't going to touch Emerald. Like I didn't want this to go further than her, but what I didn't know is that my nervous system was so wired and she was going to mirror that. Just even if I felt like I could hold it together and suppress everything. So yeah, I really just went down the shadow work avenue and really just questioned every belief that I had and I worked out where it came from, if it was my mum's, my dad's, or if it was an employer or a teacher or a friend, and really just did a lot of self-discovery. And now I'm just a lot more enlightened, a lot more at peace, even though there's still chaos going on. I'm able to really separate myself from that and not attach to things because I've worked out that worrying doesn't help. It's just still staying aligned and taking action and making sure that you're doing the best you can to be that higher version of yourself.
Yeah, I love that. And what I hear from you is who you are now and what you're teaching now is the true embodiment of your experience, what you went through, because there is a lot of people out there trying to help people in crisis or chaos who haven't necessarily experienced it themselves. And that's not to say that they can't do it, but there's something refreshing around working with a coach or working with someone who has the embodied experience of the crisis or the chaos or the struggle, because there's going to be some things that you understand that somebody else, myself included, may not understand because I haven't been through your circumstance or I haven't been through your situation.
Mhm.
So, if anyone's listening to this and they've been through or going through that really deep crisis moment and you're looking for, another mum in the industry to support you through those long days of suffering, those nights. I remember when I went through some pretty big stuff also when the kids were born, I would dread the night. I would have full anxiety around it getting dark because I felt so isolated and lonely. As you know, my husband's a pilot, he comes and goes. I had two little kids here, wasn't managing with a few things. So I just had this massive anxiety around the dark and it getting dark again because I wasn't sleeping well and I wasn't looking after myself. And then that just snowballed into the next day and the next day. And it just become this like blur of like, oh my God, is this my life now? And really struggled. So,
Yeah.
what, in terms of ladies that may be going through a hard time,
Mm.
leading up to it, right smack bang in the middle of it, or coming out the other side, how can you help them?
So, how I would help them is I would just try and diffuse the situation and just remove them emotionally from the situation so they can actually have a bird's eye view of what's going on. Attachment was a really big savior for me, and also forgiveness. Whether it's forgiving yourself, forgiving someone else for hurting you, sometimes we replay this event and we are actually keeping ourselves in suffering by just replaying it when really it's already happened and it's actually in the past now, and you keep bringing something into your future which actually has already been done. So I think it's just releasing that attachment from the situation and working out what the lesson was in that situation, and instead of taking that experience through your future life as a trauma, I work on releasing it from the body as well. So through the fascia, which I learned a lot about during this experience, because I actually got an autoimmune issue off the back of it because of stress. And what I realized was that all the trauma was in my body. And even though my mind felt somewhat a bit clearer, I was re-experiencing that trauma because it was still stored. So breath work was really impactful. Fascia through maneuvers to remove stress from the body helps calm the body so you can actually have that bird's eye view perspective.
Yeah, very, very, very wise in something that everybody can do and have access to
Mhm.
very early on in the piece and be aware of to support the journey. So,
Mhm.
did you have someone guiding you through this, or you just had to go
Mhm.
through trial and error?
Yeah, absolutely not. I wish I had someone through this time, but I could not relate to anyone. I'd go, if I spoke to certain people, I just didn't feel I was ever getting the answer I needed because one, the legal battles are still going, so no one could have really given me any peace of mind. And two, no one could grasp my situation. It was just so outlandish. It was just did not make sense, that no one could provide that peace for me. So I realized I had to actually go within, but that took me a long time to understand how to do that. Um,
Yes, right.
yeah,
And so now what you do is you support those ladies or those families going through that.
yes,
So you can support them. Imagine if you did have someone like
yeah,
you back
yeah,
then that could guide you. And we talked about it yesterday when we chatted, like that gives you the roadmap or the
mm,
step by step, this now, because you get to a point where you just can't even function or think straight.
yeah,
So have
yeah,
the coach in your corner going, this is what's next, or this is what's next. And as we get more versed and we work with more clients, what I've noticed is everybody's situation is very customized and very individualistic to what they're experiencing. But when we zoom out, we're all humans, and there tends to be some patterns
mm,
that people as humans we're just wired to think that way, to behave that way. And when you have that knowledge, when you have that person on your side or the coach, you can move through. Not that it's about speed, but if you're going to spend the next year or two or three
mm,
suffering, if
mm.
you've got the answer, if you know someone who's been through it and has got the answers through, you'd be mad not to reach out and get some form of support. And
Yeah, and what I love to do is actually give you the tools so you be able to heal yourself. Because I feel like that's what the world needs a lot of at the moment as well, is just being able to do those energetic freshen ups. Like it's like going to the gym, but for your body and for your mind and for your soul. I love just connecting all three parts back together because when you are in crisis, you disconnect so much, and it's reconnecting your mind and body to be able to then hear your intuition because
this
you
is
went
so
through.
cool. I just recorded interviewed Jo Omar from Kuan Yin. She's
Oh,
the
wow.
founder of Kuan Yin before this podcast, and she was saying the exact same thing,
Wow.
just
Yeah.
in a different way. And then I explained it. That's exactly what we do as well.
Mhm,
So we
mm,
created a modality after having run 30 retreats, worked with thousands of women all over the world to bring peace to their profit. Because what we were noticing as we chatted about is there's so many women who are chasing the profit or in profit and got money, but it's at the sacrifice of their peace. So
mhm,
bringing peace to that profit and really being able to go on the journey of the, teaching through the lens of the divine hypnotics is the model that we call it. So it's brain, body, being, which is what do you believe in beyond your human form, and your bank account, because that's an energetic printout
mm,
or a blueprint of your self-worth and what you think and what you feel. And I was
mhm,
noticing when when we first started, it was just brain, body, being, but then people's bank accounts in terms of their identity, we wanted to create this thing or work with this coach or do this, but the bank account wasn't matching that. So I was like, that needs to be activated and weaved into that. So the
Yes.
work that we get to
Yeah.
do in the Rich Lady Revolution, similar to the work that you do with your clients, is blending and bringing together, you said
Mm,
mind, body, spirit,
mm,
or brain, body, being, bank account, whatever it
mm.
is that you value. And, we have to put it into words and frameworks so people can learn and understand, especially if it's fresh and new. But
Exactly right.
I just feel like I'm coming across so many women doing a similar type of work for
Mhm.
different people, and it's just offered a different flavor in a different way.
Exactly right. I think everyone's kind of coming together because the old ways of healing and coping are just not working anymore because there's that element of being spirit, soul missing from their approach to life, and they're not
Yeah.
actually listening to themselves because there's so much noise, there's so much distraction online, on the news, wherever you get your information from, and it's all there to distract you because there is this want that you're not, they don't want you to connect to yourself because we're very powerful when we do. And like I can say myself, I've healed myself. I didn't go down the traditional elements. I could have gone on antidepressants, I could have gone all those different ways, but something was just telling me that there was a better holistic way and that I could then help others to do the same thing. So
That's
I think
so cool.
we've all kind of
Cool.
gone down that same path, like different ways, but all kind of have that same understanding of how important that alignment is.
Yep. Yep. And just such similar to my journey. I don't know if you've experienced it and I've experienced. There's so many other women that are listening to this that have been prescribed antidepressants.
Mm,
Just a client that I was talking to this morning, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, ADD, like loads
mm,
of medication.
mm,
But the true disconnect is
mm,
from spirit, soul, source, whatever you believe in.
mm,
And then I also heard you say, like when you can find that within yourself, that's power. That's
mm,
powerful.
mm,
And then in
mm,
addition to that, I want to add when Bridget's experiencing that, when I'm experiencing that, when my sister, when your clients get to sense and feel that and have the felt sense of it, my clients then to feel that safety, that connection internally one-on-one is
mm.
life altering. But then you
It
get
is.
in and around other women like each other, and
Yeah.
it goes beyond
Yeah.
comprehension. It goes beyond articulation. It goes beyond what we can
Mm,
talk about here on a podcast. And I think that's, part of the reason we resonated so well together is because all the light workers are coming back together. We
mm.
actually want to see each other do really well. Even
Exactly.
though we
It's
do
like that.
similar things, like you run retreats, I'm going to get you to share what you do soon. It's almost identical. You run retreats, you've run retreats in Bali, co-facilitating another one coming up. You do online courses. You're going to start doing your coffee catch up. You probably start your podcast.
Mm.
But I want to say there's no competition. There's only
It's like,
cheering. There's only
yeah.
lifting each other up. Yeah, it's so
It's like
cool.
collaboration over competition now in
Yeah.
this space because everyone is just so happy to like meet other people who understand what they're talking about. Because if you do say this to someone who hasn't gone through adversity or something of the like, they're like, oh, really? Okay, you've gone a bit woo-woo. Like, all right, you're feeling
Yeah,
okay.
but you know what I say to them? I'm like, you wait. I'll often say,
Yeah.
if it hasn't happened to you yet, if the shit hasn't hit the fan in
Yes.
your life,
Yes.
just it'll come. It'll come when you least
Exactly.
expect it. Like it's part of life. And I
It
spent
is.
majority of my younger years trying to avoid it. But then I realized in my old age of 40, nearly 46 next week, it's my birthday. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, this is actually part of life. And the way in which we navigate it and have
Yeah.
support being from ourselves, partners, family, other entrepreneurs, other people who get it. I'm like, oh, that's the key. It's
Mhm.
coming. It's going to
Mhm.
be there. How I
Yeah.
navigate it and the support I get through it is the most important thing. So that's why I'm
Exactly.
building the community of
Mhm.
like-minded, ambitious, driven business women to
Mhm.
come together and do whatever it is we like. I said yesterday, get the ding dings in the bank account, money
Yeah,
land in the
I
bank
love that.
account, doing what you love with who you love. And that can be as outrageous and exciting as you want. I climbed a tree the other day, looked at my bank account, and I think it was nearly 3 grand had dropped as I was
Wow.
climbing this bloody tree with my kids, like
Yeah,
showing my
beautiful.
monkey skills. I was down the Gold Coast. So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you. We set intentions at the beginning of the podcast. and you're just about to release or using this podcast to release not just the online course, but the identity of the woman who runs the online course. So tell us about how people can work with you if they're listening to this and they really resonate with you and are looking for a coach or a community or some sort of guidance.
Mhm.
Where can they go to find you? What can they do? And if you have any special offers for people, tell us.
Amazing. So I'm predominantly on Instagram. I've got a course that I've filmed and I'm editing currently to launch. I did want to do a special offer on here to offer the first three people that click. I'll put a link in the below. I'm going to offer it for free. It's a 7 module course covering nervous system and safety, shadow work, thought mastery, forgiveness. There's a beautiful forgiveness meditation on there, identity glow up, intuition, reconnecting with self, and all about the fascia of the body, which I was talking about earlier, in terms of releasing traumas and things. So it's my first offering in terms of an online course. Other than that, I've been doing just one-on-ones that I'm more than happy to continue to do to help people really just either. Some people have come to me if they're in the deep or the thick of a crisis and they just need someone to vent to or to be able to find and navigate their way out of it mentally. Other people want to speak to, because I can do Reiki as well. So I do Reiki one-on-ones. So I offer that service as well, just as like an energetic top up to be able to cleanse any of the negativity that might be in you from a past experience. So just to keep in alignment with your highest frequency. That's I absolutely love doing Reiki. So I offer that virtually. I've just relocated to the Gold Coast, so I probably will be doing one-on-ones in a space here. So I will be updating that on my Instagram. So keep posted on there. And I would love to I'm actually going to do a post in the next few weeks of a coffee catch up, which I think would be great to get mums together to be able to just meet. I think I'm in the Gold Coast here, so I'd love to just build that community out in the Gold Coast as well.
Yeah, I love it. And all this has sort of come into fruition. I know it's been floating around for you, but as we chatted yesterday, I was like, yep, go for it. Done. That's so
Yeah,
cool. So
yeah.
we'll put your IG link in the show notes so people can go there as a sort of point of call. From the
Mhm,
Instagram, you can book or you can go to the website and book a one-on-one, either Reiki or coaching, particularly if you're in that crisis moment and you need something straight away. You're going to likely start the community coffee catch up at the Gold Coast. And
mhm.
it's based around building community out in an in-person environment, which I think is so underrated at the moment.
Mhm.
People seem to be burnt out, I put a post up on Facebook today around about people's experience of in-person events because I was just noticing a very big shift in the energetics of that. But I think
Mhm.
they're coming back around because people are craving the connection, as we talked about earlier. So
Mhm.
catch up with you in person at the Gold Coast, somewhere around there. And then you very generously offered the first three for your online course. What's the name of the online course?
Rediscover your sovereign self.
Rediscover your sovereign self, which
Yeah.
is literally in the process of the final finishing touches. As we chatted, and I said you can offer it on the call, you're like, I don't even know if I have a link yet. So we'll sort that out by the time the podcast comes out.
Yeah.
Bridget will have the link there. There's only going to be 2 spots left because I want to take the first one. So sign me up. So she'll give away those couple of spots and there'll be a link there to go in. Do you have a price point for that 7 week or 7 module online course for those who miss the first three?
I'm looking at 197.
Yep. Okay, cool. So very reasonably priced for
Yeah.
under $200. You can get that support. And like you said, the forgiveness meditation and all the other things that you've created, absolute no-brainer. So yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. Is there anything else you want to add, sort of in conclusion to people that are going through crisis, if they're feeling a little bit of resistance about reaching out, or if they have been very stoic and they've done it all on their own and got lone wolf energy? I know what that feels like. Just overcoming that hurdle of the first call or the first message. What would you say to those ladies?
I would just say you don't need to carry it all on your own. I know that you, as a woman and as a mother, you feel like you have to do that. You feel like you have to be this strength for yourself, but you support is always there for you, and you need to be open to accepting that support, because this has happened to you for a reason, to elevate you to be able to hold what's next. And if you can't ask for support to allow space for what's next, then you're not going to have the hands available to receive what's coming for you. So
Oh,
yeah, just message, call, whatever you need to do, call a friend, call like someone, just to be able to get things off your chest, to get the trauma out of your body, so you've got a fresh, beautiful, start for what's next for you.
yes. And I think it's this has been put on Spotify, Apple, iTunes. So most of it's going to be like an audio, but we'll take a few snippets and share it on social media as well. But you're the living, breathing embodiment of someone who's been through a hellish crisis, and not even at the end, like you said, there's still open loops there and threads running that you're still dealing, you and your partner are dealing, and your family's dealing with every single day. But you're so, fit and vibrant. And like I even said, your energy jumped out to me from screen when I saw Kara's messages. So you're like the living, breathing embodiment of the work that you do.
Well, thank
And I just think we're so lucky within this community to be able to support each other, listen to each other, hold each other, and continue to lift each other up. So if anybody's listening to this from Bridgette's friends, family, followers, and you don't even know who I am because I just talked as though everybody knew who I was because it's my podcast.
you.
There is 250 something podcasts to go listen to. But yeah, my name is Diane McKendrick, and I'm one of those two sisters. So I work with my older sister, Michelle Ann. She's an ex-copper. She got sacked because she didn't get vaccinated. That's a better story than mine. I'm an ex-athlete, burnt out because I just wanted to win the gold medal and I did everything possible to get it. And then I got into the corporate world and just did the same thing, burnt out, had kids, realized something else was required of me. So I've gone on to publish 5 books now. You're listening to one of the audios, Millionaire Mum, the best of both worlds right now. I can put in the show notes below. I'll put the link so everybody can get access to that for free. And yeah, I run retreats with my sister. So we've got one coming up in March. We've got one spot available, another one called Top Shelf Entrepreneurs, and that one's at the end of April, and then another one in August. So we run retreats. We love it. Published the 5 books, got 30 co-authors, jewelry line, protein line, anything that I could create to help you live a more fulfilled life. I've just gone ahead and done it. And as we chatted about yesterday, I've done all of that or most of that from home in my gym gear, my hair in a mum bun, or my pajamas half the time. I didn't even have to leave home. So I just figure if I can do it, Bridgette's doing it. Any single one of you can do it, but you do need support because at some point the lone wolf gets lonely and it gets tiring and it gets heavy. And we really need each other in this new model, this new paradigm of the world to continue to level up and step up and absolutely change the paradigm. We changing from within. So yeah, you can follow me on my website's probably best, www.those two sisters, and it's the number 2, so those two sisters.com. You can find everything on there, the events, the retreats, the jewelry line, the protein, the online courses, the Rich Lady Revolution, all of it. So yes, thank you for joining us today, Bridget. It's been so great to chat. Looking
Oh,
forward to watching you flourish and blossom and bloom and meet all the ladies that come to your retreat and support, that you're supporting and coaching and absolutely changing their life.
yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform and to share my voice and my story. And yeah, I look forward to what's to come for both of us.
It's so cool. As you were chatting before, I was like, oh, I feel like you're such a beautiful, natural speaker. I was like, I could listen to her talk all day, but
Oh,
only 30 minutes because I had to go get the kids and pick them up early today. But I just wanted to tell you that because, yeah, you've got a real
thank
skill and a
you.
real gift in articulation and how you share things. It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Is this the first podcast you've done?
I've done a few. I did some last year, just about my story and things, which was really a good start. So, but this is my first for this year. So,
Yeah, cool. And have you
yeah.
got your own yet?
No, but I'm going to start that in the
Yeah,
next,
that's
yeah,
one of
the
my
next few
products. I'll tell
weeks.
you about it later. Let
All
me
right.
help you.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to
All
do that.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
And
so
everybody else,
much.
we'll see you same time, same place next week. Wow, what an episode. Now, here's the thing, knowledge is power, but action is where the magic happens. So, if today's episode lit a fire in your belly and you're ready to cut the crap, do the thing, and step into the woman you were born to be, then I've got something special for you. Join us inside the Rich Lady Revolution, the membership. It's your next level support system and soul-powered strategy space to redefine what it means to be rich. Rich in profit, peace, presence, and power. This is your invitation to experience what it's like to be fully supported and deeply connected with a world-class coach and a community of high-caliber women who get it. Women just like you. Women walking the path of aligned success with no more burnout, no more sacrifice, and absolutely no more hiding. Inside, you'll receive weekly accountability, rich conversations, and real-life tools to evaluate your income, your impact, and your inner world, all for just $149 a month with no lock-in contracts. So if you are serious about stepping into your rich lady identity, redefining success on your terms, and making meaningful money without losing yourself in the process, head over to www.thosetwosisters.au/membership, or come join the conversation on our Facebook page, The Rich Lady Revolution. Your next level isn't just calling, it's right here, waiting for you. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it.